Cool.
Hi everyone, I'm Ahana from ahanalara.com, and I'm the co-creator of Rise and Be Rich, where we work with entrepreneurs either entering the market or scaling their business, and we work on different strategies to help them get the results that they want. But today I wanted to have a quick but very important chat with freelance mama Kelly Dawson, who is helping other mothers create a life of freedom through freelancing. And I wanted to share Kelly's story because there's so many of us who are in this situation where we kind of making that switch, either starting a side business or making that switch from corporate to working from home. And I wanted to share her story and her insights on how she has been able to do this and do it at such short notice. So, Kelly, thanks for doing this.
That's okay. Thanks for having me.
let's go into some questions that we get all the time. One of them is, I always get asked what made me decide to work from home. I want to ask you the same thing. A lot of people are thinking about this. How do you, why did you decide to work from home? And from your experience of working with other mothers, what are some of the common reasons that you see?
I think the most common reason that I see is that mums just don't want to put their kids into daycare, or perhaps they might be working full time and they, they're finding that they're really missing out on all the little things that you miss out on when you're working. Like those things like school shows or bus trips and first steps and those things that mums really want to be there for, and they're missing out on, and that was a big driver for me. So I was working full time as a lawyer, and so I had long days, lots of late nights, weekend work, and that kind of thing. And I found that it was a really big juggle. I felt like I was missing out on a lot of the kids milestones and things that they were doing, and also it was really hard when they were sick, because I was just having had really full-on work commitments, and so did my husband. So just trying to figure out how on earth to juggle who's going to look after the kids and who's picking up the kids, and that kind of thing was really hard.
Yep.
So we sort of thought, well, we have to do things differently. It was just not really working for us, having both of us working full time. And so that's what motivated me to start looking for different ways to work from home.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really what starts the whole journey anyways, because I started working from home because of my daughter as well. So, but when you started, thinking about it, how did you start planning or preparing for it? So if you're thinking of making that switch,
Yeah.
for those who are thinking, or starting something on the side, how do you start preparing for it?
Well, initially it was just a matter of doing some research online to see what other people were doing. I was seeing people in Facebook groups and, different things coming up on my newsfeed of what other people were doing. So I started doing a bit of research into those different options. I did a few, online training courses and that kind of thing to try and get my head around some of these different options. And I was trying to do it while I was working full time as well. And like I said, I had a really full-time job, a full-on full-time job. So it was quite hard to to fit in the time to research and to launch something. But I did make a pretty good effort. I started doing a blog. I started doing these online courses, and I learned a lot by doing that. And I got pretty clear that I was going to start a business one way or another. And so as part of that process, and I think this is like a really important thing to prepare yourself for leaving work, is that we decided that we would save up a certain amount of money. So we had a few months worth of savings in our bank account, so that when I left my job, we had the opportunity for me to give the business thing a really good crack without having to feel like we were under a load of financial pressure.
Yeah. No, I totally hear you. And I think a lot of people coming in, they'll be like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to, start this business, I want to scale this business, but I don't have any money. And what I usually tell them is, first of all, there are lots of ways of making money quickly, and you can raise money. We do a quick money sort of session for a lot of entrepreneurs who are coming into the Rise and Be Rich programs. The second thing is save that money, because as a part of preparation, you have to invest not just in sort of supplement that time that you need to get into the business and have it established, but also in the learning.
Yeah.
You have to spend, you must have spent quite a fair amount in just learning different things as well.
Yeah.
So there is that part, and it makes sense to do that while you're in a job, because you have to start that learning before you make that switch. And what you said is really important, having that fund before you jump into working from home is really, really important. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
But when you decided, okay, now I'm going to switch fully, how did you brand and position yourself? Because I think a lot of people entering the market, that's where they're really getting stuck. I don't know how or what opportunity to take. So how did you position yourself?
Well, to start with, I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. Like, I started a blog. I was doing this course on selling products on Amazon. I ended up, buying a small product-based business and selling products online. And I was just kind of sort of dabbling in lots of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of quite good for me to get a feel for what the different opportunities were that were out there. But, as time went on, I started to feel that pressure of, look, I'm not really making much money out of any of these things.
Yeah.
And so I need to do something that will bring me in more money. And I got to the point where I was sort of starting to think, maybe I will have to go back to my job. I'm a bit, a few months had gone by. I had really earned very little income. And I was wondering what to do. And then the opportunity came up to do some work through a friend of a friend, doing some contract work.
Yeah.
And it was in the legal space, but it wasn't as a lawyer. So it was just doing some research work and some administrative type work through that. And I don't know why I hadn't really thought of it as an opportunity, because I had formally been approached by a couple of when I was on maternity leave, by a couple of my old employers who'd said, any chance you could do some work for us? And I kind of thought, oh, no, not really. I don't know how it's going to work for me. But then I realized, I guess when you get to the point of desperation, you're really looking for opportunities. And I thought, this is a really good way for me to work from home. I can do work for these people, and and I can, position myself in such a way that I can say, look, I can really help you too. So I have skills. I want to work from home. You don't want to employ somebody full time, but you do need help from time to time. And so it works in really nicely for both parties, that they need, they just don't have, a lot of the people I work for, they have periods where they're really busy and they need help in those periods, or, they want regular help, but just don't have a big enough business to employ someone full time. And so it works for them. And for me, most of the work that I do is, done from home and in the hours that suit me and around the kids. So I'm able to work in the evenings, or I'm able to work, when the kids are homesick, and put on a DVD or something like that. And so there's so much flexibility on both sides. So, I think it works really well for both parties.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize this, that when you start, like I started an online business, basically I started the blog because my background is in, marketing, communications, and content marketing. So I started with the blog and created an online business around it. But I was also every now and then doing consultancy, so we were, consulting. So I was doing projects as well. And you have to do that. You have to be open for it, in order to sort of slowly build your business up. And there are many I think in your ebook, you're talking about different ways and different case studies. So tell us a little bit about the ebook, because I think both of us, what we are doing is we're pulling these resources and sharing them, your ebook and mine. So tell a little about your ebook, what you're putting together.
Yeah, so basically, my journey started with a lot of research and seeing all these different options that there were to work from home. And there were 7 in particular that I ended up working through in quite a lot of detail and researching. And most of them actually I put into practice in one way or another myself. And so I didn't really think of it as being useful to other people, but what I'd learned along the way with doing that to start with. But then I've noticed that there's a lot of mums in different Facebook groups and the like, asking, how on earth can I work from home? And I started to realize, actually, I know quite a lot about working from home. You know, the things that I've tried and didn't work, um, are still really great ways to work from home for some other people. They just weren't right for me. And by
Yeah.
doing them myself, I learned a lot of what the advantages and disadvantages are. So that kind of made me think, well, why don't I pull this information I have all together into one resource that I can share with other mums, and also include some case studies of, you know, real life mums who are actually doing these things, to show these mums with these questions and these, you know, online groups that, look, you can do this, you know, that these are the advantages, these are the disadvantages, but these are, you know, things you can do. So, you know, work through that and see what feels right for you.
Yeah. And you know, that's it. One of the things that we were talking about, you know, before we, you know, got this recording going is, you know, when I started the online business and I did the blog, and we used some strategies to move pretty quickly. So in your case, you looked at these different avenues and you tested them out. In our case, we actually looked at different affiliate marketing opportunities on, you know, working with the blog, because we wanted to start, you know, the business start making income. So that's one of the ways you can, you know, start growing the online business. Having said that, we were also doing consulting projects. So it's I think it'll be really good to share both of these resources together, because I think anybody thinking of switching from a full-time job to either a side gig or a full-time income from home need both avenues. They need to use both. And the big one that you and I discuss is to get really clear about what is it that, you know, what's the direction.
Yeah.
So in your case, you know, as you said, that I didn't know, but this is where I started experimenting so that I can get really clear about which direction I need to go. And that's really important. You need to figure that out. Once that you have that figured out, then the movement is really quick. Then it moves a lot forward, as you know, you could see in your business.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Because I think that when we're dabbling, like I was to start with, in lots of different things, you're not really focusing your attention and your efforts into into the one thing that's going to work for you. So the faster that you can get to something that's going to really work for you, the better. And I mean, I think all of these things are complementary. Like, lots of the different work from home options complement each other.
Yeah.
But it's hard to try and become an expert in 7 different things. So it might be that you do one and then you can add on another one. Like, you might start your blog just as a starting point, and then add the affiliate, you know, link into it. Or you might start a YouTube channel, you might create an online course or something like that.
Yeah.
Really complementary things. But it's really overwhelming if you're trying to do, you know, 2 or 3 or 5 different things at once, when all when you're trying to just get your head around starting a business.
Yeah. I mean, some great information. I think Kelly's, you know, we're going to do a blog share and we're going to put in a lot of resources. So check back on both our channels, both our websites. We'll give the link of that. And thanks so much for joining us. I mean, we are here to create empowered lives and empowered businesses. So if you're ever on the fence on whether or not you should take the leap and create the life you want and the business that supports it, well, stay tuned to all of these resources that we're sending out through Rise and Be Rich Inner Circle. That's through mine. And then Kelly, your website is at?
thefreelancemama.com.
Perfect. And also we'll be putting this in our Facebook groups and pages. So I'll provide all the links there, and I'll look forward to bringing some more amazing people and resources to grow your business. So see you in another video. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.